Hello everybody, my name is Pravus and welcome to another episode of City Skylines, Sunset Harbor in the city of New Gruntings. In today's video, there are a couple things I want to work on. First things first, I want to go ahead and do a mass exodus of some of my industry and move it elsewhere, so I can take advantage of the ore specialization right down in this direction, get a whole new sense of cash flow that I can turn into lemonade and whatever the heck else. To that end, I did go ahead and purchase this tile over here. It was relatively cheap, only like $9,600, so we have a little bit more room for expansion if I desire. I also would like to update the traffic patterns, especially in this region, because most of our traffic congestion does seem to be occurring right over here. And to that extent, maybe building out a new highway exit and kind of feeding it off over here could be pretty good. Not too sure. We'll have to play with that a little bit. I kind of need to get like some cargo warehouses. And if we can grow the city a little bit more, I actually might be able to take advantage of some water transportation to get some of the industrial goods out of here if we are going to be doing exports. Still, those are the two main things I want to work on. And then, of course, just gradually growing out the city, getting more tax base, more services, better public transportation, blah, 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 blah. You know how all of that works. There we go. Forked over a fair chunk of money so we could get a couple big bridges over here and upgrade some avenues. So we'll be able to have some pretty strong traffic patterns coming out along this direction. Again, having good 4 or 6 lane roads connecting all of these areas, so we'll be able to have a pretty good amount of traffic capacity. Just getting out over here, and then we will go ahead and start spreading things out. And right here is the main reason that I want to be building my industry out here. Look at this. There's a nice little rail line right over here. Now, it seems to be abandoned on this end, and there's actually an abandoned factory, which is kind of cool, I guess, from a thematic standpoint, but not very practical. Still, if we want to repurpose this sucker, then we can go ahead and send out all of our goods in a much, much more efficient exporting pattern. Although I have to say, this looks a little frickin' wonky. I don't know what happened there. Hang on. Move it tool. Let's just go ahead and bring this down a little bit. I think that looks like a hazard just waiting for someone to go way too fast and launch theirself over the avenue, which, as entertaining as that would be, might be fatal. Ultimately, if we can do some sort of a cleanup effort here and get rid of a lot of the ground and air pollution that's been in this area, what would be kind of fun is turning this into some sort of a state park, or a city park, I guess. Because there's all this, like, natural formations that have occurred in the rocks and stuff. I don't know. You turn this into a really cool park and stuff, people might want to come and visit. Come look at the dried up waterbed with giant rocks. Why? I don't know. Give us money. Now I'm going to set up a nice little avenue right over here, and you can see I'm having to delete a lot of my industry in the process, but I think that's going to be fine. And right here, I think I'm going to do the same basic thing as we saw with these highway entrances and exits, and I'll pull right off of here. Now, creating your exit ramps and stuff is a bit of an art in and of itself in this game. But if you can do so well, it makes such a stinking difference. So as an example, what I think I want to do is create an off-ramp that goes in this direction and maybe meets up in the form of some sort of a medium road, or at least a 2-lane road to kind of start us off going this direction. So we'll do something kind of like this. And then this will be ending up creating a bridge and meeting up over here. However, we also want to make sure that we are able to get a ramp coming this direction to meet up at roughly the same point. So if I then take my highway off-ramp and go for, let's say, a little off over here, and then maybe page up a couple of times. All right, so it comes out this direction. And then, hang on, we can do this. Get it around here. Around here, and then around here, and then start paging down and try to get them to join up, maybe not in the exact same spot, but relatively close. We want it to be a nice, smooth transition. Hang on. I go slope too steep. Here we go, like this. And then get a little... Okay, I need to turn off the snapping. This is getting annoying here. Hang on. There we go. Do something like this, and then join her up. That's a little bit more aggressive than I would have liked, but at least this kind of gets the point across. And there we go. So now we would have a way for people coming this direction and this direction to turn around and head over here. But then, of course, we need to do the same approximate thing over here and try to get people to get onto the highway, not simply off of the highway. Otherwise, people will come off here, sure, but then they all have to travel this way to get back onto the highway, which means we still create a whole new set of traffic congestion. There we go, and now you have something kind of like this. I might use the Move It tool to kind of clean up this a little bit, but the basic idea here is we'll have somebody able to travel this direction. They can either get on the ramp and then head onto the highway this way, or they can go to the right and then hop onto the highway this way. Now, if ever given the option, I prefer to have the exit ramp first and then a new on-ramp. Otherwise, if you do it the other way around, so we have an on-ramp, let's say, here and an exit ramp here, you'll have a lot of people coming onto the highway and then a lot of people also trying to get to the right to get off, and you create a new set of traffic congestion. Which is why in the real world, you usually have an exit ramp and then a new on-ramp. And then we have a nice little bridge that joins everything up together. Okay, so this alone should go a long way to improving the traffic pattern. Is it nice and compact like, I don't know, this? No. This is not even remotely a good design in that sense. But by God, it looks good, having something that kind of breaks the mold and doesn't look like just another cookie-cutter on-ramp. I kind of like doing this. I mean, yeah, sure, whatever. And in the meantime, now we have another avenue for people to get on and off of our industrial area without having to go through the big residential and commercial zones. Okay, with that all done, let's go ahead and now get rid of all of our extra industrial in this area. We do not want any of these guys anymore. I did just realize I don't think that I have a mod that allows me to mass paint down the trees and stuff we might want in order to start getting rid of some of this ground pollution. So I'm going to have to go ahead and install that there mod. But for now, we'll just start by dezoning so we can't contribute to the problem anymore. There we go, and now these guys are all going to voluntarily move out. Voluntarily, very forcefully, something, I don't know. Hey, we got another upgrade for Whisper Farms, a clothing factory. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Farm maintenance building, large barns, and a slaughterhouse. Sounds like just more ways of us ramping up the same kind of production we've already had, but there we go. All right, so that's going to get all cleared out. Now we want to set up an ore specialization, because if I recall, we have plenty of ore in this area. I also probably should set up a forestry industry as well. Hey, look, a lot more ore over here, too. Interesting. We may or may not want to take advantage of that. I'm not too sure. But yes, we want to set up an ore industry and just go ahead and start producing all of those goods. But that probably means we should start by just getting rid of a lot of these excess roads. Because at least for the moment, I'm not sure how it's going to get all laid out yet. So we'll get rid of you for now. And let's go ahead and start painting out what I think will be a pretty basic industrial zone. Kind of everything in this region is kind of what I want. Even if it does sort of absorb up the recycling plant and stuff, I'm sure that should end up being okay. It's called the Manor Zone by default. That doesn't sound like something I want. What's another patron name? We have a magistrate on Discord named Phil who has been selected, and we're going to call this the Phil Pits. Perfect. I love it. All right, so let's see. Ore industry. What would be involved in that? Well, first things first, we need an ore industry main building. No surprises there. And that gives me access to the small ore mine and sand storage, and also a ore grinding mill, all of which are things we will likely want. So, let's see. Extractor buildings, we can kind of perfectly fit some of these actually already, which is just beautiful. That said, I think I'm going to pull them off of the main avenues so we can go down this road, or is that going to be too much traffic? I don't necessarily want to have people stopping for their work at these extraction pits on the main avenue. I still want people to be flowing nicely into the city itself. So yeah, I think we go ahead and pull our extraction here off of this little offshoot road, like so. So we'll get at least a couple of those. And then we need an ore grinding mill. Same dealy bob maybe? Or maybe we place one over here? I guess we could do that. Maybe we do a different setup, though. What if I built something like over here? Would that work? An ore grinding building over here, for example? I'm kind of worried about creating too much traffic in one spot. But maybe it's fine. Maybe we just go ahead and create some offshoot roads here, and that would do the job. Sure, something like this to start us off should be okay. So we're going to be extracting some ore in this area. You can see people already moving around and doing pretty much nothing. I'm not sure how this qualifies as ore gathering, guys. You're all being very disappointing. And then they'll ship things right over here into an ore grinding mill. So can we take a look at the fill pits and see? Yes. Okay, so we have our ores, which are going to be ground down and give us an output. And it looks like we actually should be producing some metals using this ore grinding mill already. So we're going to be going for the processed phase kind of right off the bat. Now, what was this whole sand pit thing? Because I didn't see any sand pits as an option. There it is. Sand storage. Okay, so we need to have a good area for storage as well. This can definitely create a lot of undesired traffic, so we got to be careful about that. I want to keep it kind of close to all this, so maybe another offshoot road over here. And then place the sand pits, like, right over here or something for now. Okay, so that will be our gathering, our storage, and then our metal production, which we should be able to start exporting into something pretty good. But if we're producing metals already, does that mean I can now move on to a fun, unique factory? Don't need the bakery. The lemonade factory. Now, I don't know if this is the right stuff. That looks like a shinier form of metals, doesn't it? Hang on. Ore. This is not ore, that's forestry. Give me ore. There we go. Okay, so, metals, right over here, which is what we're making now, from the ore grinding mills and the rotary kiln plants. We want glass. Glass is produced from glass manufacturing plants and fiberglass plants. Oh, okay, so if we want to make the lemonade, this is ultimately what we want. Wait, what? Oh, I guess it makes sense. You're storing your lemonade in glass bottles, not tin cans, which is kind of what I thought was going to happen. Okay. So, well, we don't have access to that yet, I think. Ore storage, no. Hang on. Processing buildings. That's a large ore mine, medium ore mines, underground mines. That could be kind of helpful. Glass manufacturing plant. Yeah, we have to get to level 2 first. So that means we need to get some people properly hired and employed over here and start producing this stuff. And then after we've got some output, then we can level it up. All right. So let's make sure we have some new public transportation going off in this direction, with a new proper bus line or something. And then as this levels up, we will try to expand the industry. In the meantime, because we did all of this, we have a lot more industrial demands. Now, we could just place down some more office zones and stuff in our city region, which wouldn't be a bad idea. It does meet some of our industrial needs while not nearly contributing the same levels of pollution. I do like that idea. That said, we also do want to have just some basic industry that is still importing and exporting goods, primarily because it does meet the needs of our consumer goods. Just having offices alone isn't enough. Like these commercial buildings, for example, are going to be importing goods one way or the other. Either we produce it here, or we're just going to have to pay a premium to have it imported. So you always want to have some level of proper industry, and I think that we're going to have to continue building it out over here, which was the original intention anyway. First things first, though, before we do that, let's see if I can set up some sort of a train system. Is this it? Yeah, cargo trains. Do we have that? Train station, cargo train terminal. Perfect. So I need a bit more money, but we want to place down one of these right away and make sure we understand how the traffic's going to flow and kind of build around this, because this is how we are going to import and export almost all of our goods. So let's start by just deleting a lot of this, because we're going to be changing up this entire thing anyway. If I do a cargo, let's see, hang on, we need some roads. So we're going to want to have probably some one-lane roads to kind of control the traffic flow a little bit. So if I were to, for example, set up a nice two-lane one-way road that goes this direction, just go up by like a block, and then we are going to do a quick curve, kind of like this, and then go a little bit longer, so we have plenty of room on the train station and the tracks. Then we're going to come back out here. We're going to do this. And the reason we want to do a one-way road like this is going to get a ton of traffic. So this kind of creates almost like a glorified roundabout. You're going to, no matter which direction you're coming from down the avenue, you're all going to be going down this lane. You're going to hop over to the right, drop off your goods, then immediately keep going down, and then hopefully turn right to get out of here. That's at least the idea. So we're not going to have any more of this, like, people coming down this road and then trying to turn left to go into the train terminal and blocking off traffic. We're not going to do that. That's not going to make any sense. So let's go for our train terminal. We're going to be placing it right along over here. And then we need to get ourselves some tracks. So let's see. How are we going to do this? We want probably just some generic tracks. I don't need one way, I think. Let me think. How do we want to do this? I guess we'll do something kind of like this. And then we will have some tracks that come off this direction. And then ultimately just join up at the same approximate location. Or some point down the tracks. Right? There we go. Not sure how much I like this, because having two track lanes like this might get confusing. Maybe we can go ahead and just change this up so it's one way. And we'll upgrade this to be like this. So that the train traffic pattern has to go kind of like this. Yeah? Maybe the other way around, because it looks like this kind of crosses the streams in ways that I didn't intend. Yes, I think that's exactly what happened. Let's go ahead and just do this quick little flipsy. Like so. There we go. Okay, so now train traffic is coming down one direction and just goes in a big loop just like the rest of this traffic. Okay, so this should be very helpful for the importing and exporting of a lot of our industrial goods, and we've left ourselves plenty of room for either expansion or just, you know, making sure that we can control the traffic pattern and nothing gets bottled up in one area too much. There we go. All right, going back to kind of a grid pattern here, but using the one-way roads as effectively as I can while still leaving me some room for expansion with four-lane roads if I need to later. This should be a very, very efficient setup as far as traffic and getting everything delivered super-duper quick. Should, of course, being a rather dangerous operative word, but let's go ahead and fill in some of these grids and see if this can meet our needs. We will need to get some power over here, unfortunately. Let's go ahead and start by doing this. That should at least get us a-going, I am a-hoping. Maybe. I mean, we have the industrial demand, right? You guys coming down here? No? Maybe? Hang on, I'll get you some more power more directly over here. There we go. Now we're starting to build the Ice Cube Factory. Yes, of course, you need an entire factory just dedicated to making ice, which now that I think about it, that makes sense. I never think about that, but there must be, in fact, factories somewhere that are just dedicated to making ice, right? We get it mass-produced. Huh. What do you know? Anyway, there we go. All right, so the industrial section has officially been relocated. Huzzah! We are now officially a big city with 12,000 population, which means we get a new area to buy. Also a liberal arts college campus area, some visiting scholars. Cool. So this is where the game really wants you to start working on your campus, I think, which is something we definitely do need to do. Crematorium, yes, that's something I definitely would want. Water treatment plant could certainly be nice. Floating garbage if we had a lot of pollution issues. Inland water treatment plant, an advanced crematorium. Ooh, I didn't even know that was a thing now. Okay. Cryopreservatory. This controversial building stores the clinically deceased until the technology becomes available to revive them? What? I have never heard of this. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Now, one immediate problem that our new industrial area is having is that we do not have enough workers, which means that people can't find their way over here easily. So setting up another bus line would not go amiss at all, I don't think. So let's go ahead and start by placing some new lines, probably starting on the right-hand side of the road, unless... We always want to go along right turns wherever possible, so I guess we'll start over here. We'll place over here, add in a stop, kind of like these to start, I guess. And then, I don't know how I like this, actually. Well, we need to sort of connect up to some residential areas. So we're going to go all the way over here and add in some new stops that are along this direction. And unfortunately, we don't have another road that'll easily get me along here. So I think this is going to have to be good enough. Couple of stops down there. And then we go ahead and just connect right there. So this at least gives some sort of public transportation option. But it would be probably wise to go ahead and set up some sort of a basic suburb in this area so we can have some population easily able to get to their jobs. And just because I can, I'm going to go ahead and go for my more classic, chaotic-looking suburb options along over here. Just because I like the look of them, you know? We're totally deviating from the grid at this point, and is that the most efficient use of your space? Absolutely not, but doesn't this look a lot more interesting? I gotta say that I think that's an improvement. There we go. Something like this seems completely reasonable. Of course, we need to make sure that we have plenty of services to go around for that. I think we already did place down like a clinic and stuff over here, but it's apparently not enough. Because you are currently attached to a one-lane road. Ah, yes. Okay, hang on. We probably should not do it this way. Because they only can really access this entire area. If we're going to have these clinics and stuff, we want to be attached to the avenue still. So let's go ahead and place one over there. Actually, does that even reach the areas I want? Not entirely, apparently. Reaches that, but that's about it. Okay, so we need a community clinic then that's going to be going up over here. And I'm out of money, but we should fix that soon enough. I do want to get myself a firehouse, certainly, to protect the industrial area, because these guys are certainly prone to some fires. So maybe we place something over, I guess, over here, maybe. And that should reach at least a little bit, but still not quite enough. So maybe we'll do another community fire station and stuff over here, and then similar issue for the police. And you know what? To make this area interesting, we're going to go ahead and create a new district along here. Okay. And we are going to call this one... What are we going to call this one? Hang on, patrons! We will call this one Uthred Corner, or something like that. Maybe we can change that name a little bit later if we want. Now, something I want to do here, just for a little bit of extra interest, is we're going to change up some policies here. And I think we want to turn this into an area that can only use the green buildings, the self-sustaining, city planning. It's on here somewhere. Ah, there we go. Okay, so we need residential specializations in the district section here, and then we're going to make this all into self-sufficient buildings. Perfect. I think you're going to love that. And also, for the sake of it, in the commercial areas, you are going to be using organic and local produce wherever possible. How's that sound? All right, nice. So this is going to be a fun little sustainable community. Hopefully a lot of these unemployment issues will solve themselves over time. In the meantime, let's go ahead and set up another district over here just so I can control policies over here if I so desire. Since this is primarily going to be a big industrial area, what should we call this one? We will call it... Oh, fun. Viersteim's names actually got pulled again. You know, he actually had made a recommendation as far as what to name a district, and this actually works perfectly. So we're going to call this one the Steinworks, because that just sounds awesome. Perfect. Okay, so now we have the Steinworks. Any policies I want to do over here that might be able to improve things a little bit? We don't need to have big business benefactors and stuff. Guess it doesn't matter to have that too much, though. Zoned industry works more effectively by overlooking a few work safety laws, doubles the amount of goods produced. I think that's still worth it, in the sense that, yeah, it costs me some money, but if we can produce a lot more industry, that should be good. The real trick is making sure that we actually get people over here. Boost connections, traffic capacity, no. Workers' union, no. Industry 4.0, highly educated citizens. This could be good if I have a efficiently organized, educated workforce. At the moment, most of this industry requires uneducated workers, and that's part of the problem is I'm not able to produce a lot of those. Say, for example, this leveled up fine fish stick factory with educated workers is no problem, but everybody else, not so much. So in the Steinworks, let's try this. We're going to go ahead and place Industry 4.0 so that everybody has to be building industry that uses more educated workers, and it actually looks like that is working pretty well. However, we don't have many highly educated citizens. So that's a problem. That means we really need to start focusing on our education and getting some universities, etc. set up. So let me think. So a modern tech institute, public university, there we go. I do want to set up our own, like, real campus at some point, but temporarily setting up a big honkin' university would meet our immediate needs pretty darn well. So I think that that's ultimately what I want to do. And I can place you in this corner right over here. It's going to take up this entire block. But this should start producing a lot of highly educated citizens for me. You can see that 42% of our citizens, however, are uneducated. So it's not that we don't have enough uneducated workers to get over here if we want them to. It's just they can't seem to find their way too well. So yeah, but as long as we have enough schools going around, if we can make a very educated workforce, the industry will still profit quite a bit. The more educated that workforce is, I imagine the less pollution and stuff they're going to be producing. Also, the more goods we're going to get. Less jobs to go around, perhaps. But that's fine. I have plenty of room to sprawl out a little bit more. And by the way, you can see over here that this is working like a charm. No major traffic congestion for people trying to drop off their goods at the train station. That is absolutely perfect. Okay. So in the next video, I think what we need to do is start working on a proper campus. A real campus district, taking advantage of the new campus expansion that came out. Well, it's not new, but it's new to me. And if we can get a really good high-level industry set up, that should carry us in our education needs for a good chunk of the game. But that's going to take a bit of playing with for me. So, for now, I'm going to say that this is good enough. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. If so, then I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.